Again, everybody knows Shekhar, as I mentioned, and everyone knows him more better than they know me. And
Not true,
he
not
has
true.
been
Not
he has been really connected with each and every one of you, through the WhatsApp group for neuroscience, and some of you have already met him in person, and it's just amazing to have him as part of our group. And with that, Shekhar, and I'm sorry that it didn't get advertised early on. I was busy with something else and I forgot totally. But still, I think the session will be recorded, and in case some of you may not be able to attend this session, they still will be getting the recording. So thank you, Shekhar, very much. And again, this is the second time today that we had Praveen's session earlier, and now we have Shekhar's session. So go ahead, Shekhar. Thank
Thank you
you.
so much. Thank you so much, Sriji. That was so much kind words you have said about me. I hope I can hold the candle to that. This is the basis of our talk today is Om Gang Ganapataye Namah. And it's a neuroscience of Sanskrit chanting. And with me is joining Dr. Narayanasami. So why Sanskrit chanting? I mean, especially Sanskrit chanting in temples have been the hallmark of Sanatan Dharma in Bharat. And I guess uh, I asked this question many a times to myself, what is it all about? Why Sanskrit chanting? To prepare, the answer is to prepare the apparatus. Apparatus, which means this is our brain, to seek, understand, and comprehend higher order of knowledge and wisdom. Now, how? This is what one day I asked my mother, tell me, why is it important? So she always have a good idea of giving examples. She never get the straight answer. She would ask me straight one question. So one example she said, uh, Ramdas Swami, who was guru of Shivaji Maharaj, used to go all over the village and ask, Bhayoti Bhikshan Dehi. So there was one household from where the lady used to give him very nice rice in his kamandalu, and he would eat it, and then he drink water, and he would give her some fantastic wisdom, some unbelievable things that can improve their life, improve their business, improve everything. And there was definitely uh, uh, lot of affluence in the house eventually because of his uh, telling her something. There was a jealous neighbor next door who used to get jealous about this. This whole fellow was so poor. Now he's suddenly having couple of carts and few more cows and buffaloes and everything else, and doing very well. His farm is doing very well. His everything is doing well. So she always intervened. He said, so, Guruji, can you also come to my house to eat something? So she said, wait here, I'll bring it some rice. So, and in the meantime, our Ramdas Swamiji went and started washing his kamandalu in a gutter, absolutely dirty, filthy water. And in the meantime, she came and she saw Ramdas Swamiji washing his kamandalu in a gutter. She said, are you crazy? You want my beautiful, nice basmati rice, smelling rice in this kamandalu, which is gutter, dirty? He said, that's exactly what I was supposed to tell you. Do you want me to tell you everything what I used to tell that lady over there in your mind, which is full of gutter thinking? So if you cannot give your eyes in this, how can I give this profound knowledge in this? So what happens? This is how she used to tell me. A jeweler always uses a sonication technique to clean the jewelry.
आणि
हे व्हिडिओ तुझा पिक्चर दाखवायचा.
माझा पिक्चर दाखवा असाचा व्हिडिओ. अच्छा,
Can you shut off the audio, please, all of you?
म्हणजे बघितलं का? आणि हा माणूस चांगला आहे.
Array, just
You can do it at your level also. Sriji?
So no, but then what will happen is, I'm concerned about Narayanasami. Actually, now his audio is off, but I hope that he can turn it on.
Yes, I can turn it on or off.
Okay,
Okay, good,
wonderful.
good.
So the jeweler always uses sonication technique. So what they do is they put it in a water bath, and then they put the sonication, so which is basically magnetic electromagnetic kind of a washing system. So with that, the finest of the finest dirt from the jewelry can be taken out. That is exactly what this temple chanting in the temple is all about. Inside the temple, there are gongs. You might see the big low frequency gong up here in the beginning, and then there are different frequency gongs that keep going, and all the way up to the Garbha Graha. Especially in southern temple, there is a very small ghanti, very high pitch, very high frequency. So that is all basically the sonication that is happening in our brain, that realigns the actually the junk that is there, the wrong connections or the wrong synaptic connection that are there is deleted because of that. We call it synaptic pruning in neurosciences. That gong is doing the job. And then what happens is the Sanskrit mantra chanting from, say, Yajurveda has a lot of spandan. Spandan means intonation and vibration. This is not just vibration. There are some intonations also, which is really powerful. So when we do the Brahmari, that's an intonation. And when you do the Brahmari with tongue rolling in and out, like within the mouth cavity, that causes intonations. So that is how the rewiring happens in the brain. And now with that rewired brain, one is ready to really receive and understand the import of those mantras and stotra. So the question I ask is, why can't we just understand the meaning of the mantra? Why do we have to chant? Now I understood why it is necessary for my mother says that, yeah, practice is not ready and it is not purified enough to understand the meaning. So first of all, you have to chant in order to clean up. First of all, go to temple to listen to the gong. Just sit there for a few minutes. That's what they call us in our country, in Bharat. They call, just go to the temple, sit there. The sitting there means what? This is what is happening. People come and go. They make a big gong. They hit it with, and all the 6-7 gongs that are there with low frequency to high frequency. Your mind is really like sonicated. The brain is sonicated really well. After that, you listen to the chant, and that makes the rewiring. So this is how it is. So Veda means knowledge. Now this Dr. Swami will talk about this whole thing a little later. I'll bring him on to talk about little. Veda means knowledge of all in all forms. And Vedana means misery, pain, misfortune, and suffering, right? So Vedana equals Ved plus Na, which means absence of knowledge. So absence of knowledge is actually causing the suffering and the misery. This is exactly what chanting Ved will remove, the misery, pain, and the misfortune and suffering. Knowledge about what? Knowledge of what? Knowledge of an experience of that which is heard. Heard means from where do we hear it? From the teacher, from the Guruji. So Upanishads appear at the very end of the Vedas, therefore Vedanta. So before all that is Vedas, is to prepare you to understand the Vedanta. Remember, this is very important. Most people just jump into Vedanta and Upanishads and everything without even clearing or getting their brain ready or wired to understand that. There is a specific sequence of events inside the Sanatan Dharma Sanskriti where they start with this. From the beginning, they start with the process of chanting and subsequently understanding the imports of the Vedanta, which is the Upanishads. Sitting near the Guru and listening intently the secrets and then experiencing the same. Teacher tells that first, and then he makes you sit or because your mind, your brain is wired so nicely, you can really comprehend. So basically what happens, Upanishad declares that the essence of this entire creation is us, human body. And out of that human body, brain is the ultimate deal here. And out of that brain, this particular red in the frontal lobe is the only thing that is going to evolve now. So the essence is of the entire creation human, and essence of that human is speech. And essence of the speech is Rig Veda, and essence of the Rig Veda is Samveda, and essence of the Samveda is Om. So this is what it is all about. So from here to here, this is how do we use this to expand and grow further, to expand our frontal cortex, because that's the only thing which is plastic currently. Absolutely most plastic thing is frontal cortex right now in our brain. So how can we best use Om, the triplet code AAUM, for our well-being and evolution through brain reprogramming? Now, we have heard of the triplet code in molecular biology by Nirenberg, Leader, and Hargobind Khurana in 1966, and they got Nobel Prize for this. And what they did was they did the triplet code and 64 RNAs of overall, and then they would code for 20 amino acids, and then the 20 amino acid arranged in a different format can give rise to different proteins. So this was the code. They discovered this code. So what about discovering AUM for creation, right? That's what the whole idea. So this was the triplet code that gave rise to different codons, as you said. And then these codons arranged in a different manner will code for different amino acids, and amino acids arranged in a different manner will give rise to plethora of different proteins. So this is the fundamental block of our existence. So Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. So Om Gang. So the bindu here, this particular thing is the form on top, giving the nasal sound Chandra bindu, that thus forming gang. When you chant anything which has the nasal nad, Om becomes more powerful. Om becomes Mahamantra just because you chanted something after that, or this. So this is joined by nad, right? All the forms combined. That's what they said. Binduruttar Rupam Nada Sandhana Sanghita Sandhi. That's what the combination is. All the forms combined, and when it finally ends with the nad, it gives the mantra a transcendental form. So that's what when you say Om Gang, so this is the Mooladhara activation. Om Rang, that is the Manipur activation. So this is what that activation happens. It suddenly happens because the power you are giving it by using this bindu to that. So this is so this is Om. Now from these I'm just drawn this just to explain what this is, a plain Om, right? Now if you have a lower frequency compared, and then you go ahead with higher frequency, so there is a whole lot of differences in the frequency. There are millions such bits of information within A and U with different A as like that, and then Om all the way. So we have done that this practice in Brahmari. The way we did this was like that. So depending on different frequencies of AUM as depicted here, we can create a whole lot of vibrations, and all that vibration incorporates a creation. Like for instance, A, and H. Is the first vowel, and H is the last syllable, last consonant. So what you can make the entire world just on this. So all the words that are coming up is between this only, right? So all words have form, and all forms are tangible. So the entire creation can be created from this itself. So letters of the Sanskrit alphabet allow the human mind to interface with the primal energies of cosmic intelligence and receive its deeper insights. Now, this is something very deep, but you hang in there just to really appreciate what this particular sentence means eventually. So the vowels are a, I, u, e, I, o, aha, right? Now, each type of the sound has a spiritual and a yogic implications. Remember that. Vowel represent consciousness, spirit, the Shiva Shakti, right? The principle in Tantric thought and the Indra principle in Vedic thought. So this is what it is. The vowel is Shiva and consonant is Shakti. So when these two add up, that's what the creation is. Vowel are the essence of sound and vibration, continuous, independent, and enduring in their resonance. You can take any vowel and intone it indefinitely. That's the beautiful part of the vowel. But consonants you cannot use without having a vowel in it. Anyway, you cannot say any consonant without having a vowel in. I'll tell you a little later. Many powerful Sanskrit seed mantras like Om and Aim are vowel predominant for this reason, right? They allow our energy to open and expand and ascend to higher levels. This is what it is all about. The consonants, on the other hand, is ya, ra, la, va, sha, sa, ksha, ha. So that is ha is the last consonant. So when you say a to ha, everything is inside. When you give the give the bindu to ham, make it powerful, aham becomes a mantra, maha mantra actually. Aham is I. That's what it is about. When you say I, that's your name actually. That name I incorporates the universe. The entire universe of names and forms is in that aham, I. So opposite in nature to vowel. Consonants are opposite in nature to vowel, and they represents matter or prakriti or the Shakti principle through which all manifestation arises. Consonant serves to focus the pure sound quality of the vowel. This is beautiful. Consonants serve to focus the pure sound quality of a vowel in a particular form or a direction. I mean, if one sentence can have a seminar by itself. So I'm just running through it anyway. Consonants are contact based and require a vowel in order to express them. Try pronouncing a word that consists of consonants only. It is impossible. You cannot. Her contains a also, right? Sir, that's exactly. Ya contains a, ya, a. So always is there, right? So while consonant allow the definitive expressions, they also create illusion as sound becomes limited. While vowels represent eternal power, consonants are the form which manifest in the limited field of time, though they can reflect higher qualities. So this is Shiva Shakti's interplay here. Shiva Shakti's interplay. Consonants are Shakti and vowels are Shiva. And without the one, other one is incomplete. And in order to give the consonant power, the vowel a power, consonants are necessary. And consonant by itself has no meaning. So this is the beautiful part of it. Anyway, so 4 levels of speech are there. There are different Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Para. So Vaikhari is the audible sound speech that we whatever we are talking is Vaikhari. And that has the throat and component to it, this chakra over here, throat chakra, and this is mostly in the waking state. The Madhyama is the pranic speech, which has prior to Vaikhari, this is the one, right? Madhyama. And it has the center which vibrates is the heart, and the breath is through the breath actually. and the mantras in the heart chakra gets vibration, and that is exactly at the level of the dream state. Pashyanti is illumined speech. It is coming from navel, which means basically Manipura chakra, quiet and contemplative. It is in deep sleep. And para is Turiya, which is a root, absolute silence and samadhi. So these are the different types of speech. This is like, can you see the reversal? The whole thing is reversed here. So the short vowel, like when you say another, the Sanskrit word short vowel is pronounced deep in the back of the throat, right? It vibrates the neck, the lung, the heart, the body, and drawing the energy down and in. So this is when you say this is what happens. These are the different chakras that get excited. On the flip side, the long vowel requires a much more significant opening of the throat. It does not so basically it does not require a whole lot of that, but it requires opening of your throat. So same thing, has a sound which is another, like pronounced as another. It has the energetics of pure existence, simple affirmation, simple negation, light. It is very light, illumination and unmanifest self. That's what it energetically it means. At the spiritual level, means absolute pure consciousness, Godhead, Parabrahma, or the Supreme Shiva. When you say it is actually you are invoking Shiva. At the what is at the physical level, where it is actually making some changes, it is at the back of your head, top and the back of your head. So the top, and the top means frontal lobe here, right? And the back of your head is occipital lobe. So we'll see what scientific evidence to this, what we are talking right now. When we chant the Yajurveda, what happens to the brain activation and thickness and volume and everything. And the psychological level, it is a deeper consciousness. This it is a source of mind and prana. It is a primal self. At the yogic level, it promotes pratyahar. It promotes meditation, samadhi, detachment, and it activates the crown chakra. And Yog Nidra also helps. Whenever you do Yog Nidra, it basically helps in promoting the crown chakra. Yog, which is basically a. Now you have increase in the matra a, e, u, a, I, o. So you have increased the matra. Now how that matra works in our life? Energetically level, it obviously is Shiva's energy, and which can be manifested and unmanifested. It is affirmating and ascending in nature, right? The spiritual component of O is universal ruling power. It has guiding and expanding force to it. And what at the level at the mouth level, what happens? It is at the upper jaw, right? Oh, you have to make that upper jaw. Basically, it hits the roof and then it makes the sound. The psychological level, and it opens the prana in the head and the spine. This is how this works. The vibration frequency is that which actually opens the prana in the head and the spine. And at the psychological level, it clears the mental and emotional fields, connect mind and higher self. At the yogic level, it is knowledge based and devotion and unity and pranayam and energies of all the yoga. This is O. Now, when you say Om, like for instance, I said A, E, U, A, O. This is higher increase in the matras, right? O, Aha is the release. Okay. When you say O and O and if you add together, when you say together, it becomes Om. Right? If you say AUM, it is A and It covers all that. So this is a higher matra. If you attach higher matra to even higher one, which is the bindu, it is even powerful. So when this Om will free you of self-imposed limitations due to conditioning. So if you like, for instance, Ashriji, we have demonstrated. He has demonstrated how we chant Om constantly for a while. Even most of the like Isha Yoga also, they also ask you to chant Om million times and multiple times. So what it does, it automatically frees you of self-imposed limitations due to conditioning. Now you want to try it out. This cannot be like this. It doesn't make sense to anybody unless you try it out. Once you try it out, you will know what this means. The self-imposed limitation, freeing somebody of self-imposed limitation due to conditioning. Conditioning is not just this lifetime, previous past lifetimes, several lifetimes. Those conditioning is which is situated or located in the subconscious memory, and it removes this Om chanting. So which means when your conditioning, when your past conditioning is erased, you're free now. You're not slave to those conditions, freeing you to live the perspective of higher self. This is exactly what this chanting and all those things do to you. Now, we have talked about A, O, and U. Now, the O, U, whatever that is, right? So the sound is as in U is as in flute. It is the smaller one, not the U, the big one. The U is in flute. The energetics has a vibration. It has vibration to it. U. It has a role in work, effort, action, development. That's what it is about, right? It represents vibration, unfolding, and creation, and it represents power. In spiritual terms, it is expansive force and penetrating power, right? And at the physical level, it is right here. Right here it is. So audio perception and circulation of energy, this is right here. This is very important to note. So when you do Topu Karanakam, you just pull your left earlobe with right hand and the right earlobe with left hand, and you pull it. That's exactly where this the U, by at a subconscious level, it is getting activated. So it has psychological, intuitive. Some people are very intuitive. Remember, right? This right brain is essentially emotional, intuitive brain anyway. So obviously, when you pull that right ear, it increases that intuitive power in you. It has a prana activation also, and its role is inside our system. Wherever it actually it activates the brain, it increases the comprehension power in one's being. And the terms of yoga, it's a perceptive thing, listening, knowledge, peripheral awareness, learning, formless meditation on void. This is what helps. When you do the Om chanting, AUM, the U of that Om helps in the formless meditation and other things. This particular, all this whatever the charts I have made, everything has confirmation to it. So I'm just giving you the very brief one slide show about this thing. Oh, AU, when you that sound has power to it. and it is the full expression of divine energy. The reason is you have added O to the so that's power, right? So, and eventually that Om, the bindu that is there is what will get the even higher power to that. It is the Shiva's principle, obviously, and it is the lower teeth when oh oh. So this this is what it is. The lower teeth and jaw are the main component which creates that sound. And in the psychologically, why psychologically, it has expansive aspect to mind and prana. And in at the level of yoga, it promotes contemplation and affirmation and pranayama and samadhi. So this is what this is all about. So anuswara so when you when is added to au, and is that what when you do the Brahmari, so that's what it is. There is a nasal sound as in the om, drawing in a sound and merging it into the mind, and hold it energetically wise. It holds, it is harmonizing, and it is internalizing, and it is dissolving within. So this when you experience melting, actually this is the sound that makes do that. Melting means melting of the ego, basically, right? Spiritually, it is a mergence in the deity being, or the absolute Shiva. So when you assume, when you let's say Brahmari, if you do continuous Brahmari for like say 10 minutes, and after that you feel your dhyan is much stronger, this is the reason. And it is actually at the physical level, it actually vibrates at the top of your head. This is the place where at the fontanel level, this whole thing gets charged up. Okay. At the psychological level, it is the mind and the deep feeling and the profound knowing that happens in that. So so that is the most profound knowing that happens after that. When you sit in silence, you get, I mean, me telling you is not enough. I tell you, you have to experience this, what I'm talking about. And it promotes contemplation, mergence, internalization, detachment, and samadhi. So now we come to Om. Is it O and Om, and there you are. And when you do the Om, the Visarga is the release, that one. So this is a matra, is a unit of metrical quality equal to the short vowel. This Om will bring you in alignment with your higher self, your life path, and the absolute. Now this is the thing that these mantras and other things, these rishis has the entire curriculum has meant to get to that point, to this level, to get to your life path and to merge with the absolute. This is the goal that they were seeking. So there were challenges. People say, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. So in Vedas, they are saying, okay, if you want this, you want this, there are some mechanism to get you there, whatever you want. So, okay, after that, what? After that, do this. After that, do this. And then you finally get to the Vedanta. And then that's what I am, that happens. So when you do the normal, if you plot the frequency versus all these sound coming, these different vowels, so it is gradually increasing in the frequency. Okay, over here now when you reach O, it is high. Oh my God, highest, and dropped, completely dropped. Whereas simple Om gives you this. When you do the all this, when you say one by one, this is how the energy increases happens. And if you chant simple Om like this, then there is a higher level. Whereas if you do intonations, now intonations I am going to, if you do Brahmari Pranayam with, instead of just doing that, roll your tongue all the way to the back of your mouth and then gently bring it forward and back and forward and back with the mouth closed. That will give you a real high intonations. So I will, okay. So this is what it is. A is the first, right? And then H is the last letter, alphabet, I would say. So when you do the to it, aham, then what happens is from the first alphabet to the last alphabet is hum, akshar, hum. So when you aham, you say aham is I actually. So all the names and the forms that exist in the universe is aham only, right? Everything comes here. So when you say, yeah, actually our name is I only. There is nothing else. I is our only name. Because when you say I, it covers the whole universe. Anything after that is you're basically limiting that I. I am father. You have limited it. Only I is the real, your name, our name. The entire creation is between these two sounds, and hum. Sharing here, and I'll give you one video.
नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यम्बकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशां च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः सस्पिञ्जराय त्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्राय तताविने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नम उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः।
Whatever we just heard, the Yajurved chanting that we heard just now, Narayanasami is a master in it. He just doesn't, not just this Chamakam and Namakam of the Sri Rudram, but he knows the entire deal, complete, like 3-hour, 5-hour chanting he can do non-stop. That is a person we are bringing in today right now for everyone benefit. And he has done his MTech from IIT in Chennai, PhD from Texas Tech University, Lubbock. And after that, he won a very prestigious fellowship, actually. Competed for that, and you cannot just get it. He got invited to work in NASA for 5 years. And after that, he went ahead and he was an entrepreneur. He developed several engineering software companies. And not only that, he sold them to multinational corporations. Now he is 100% spreading the yoga, the Vedic knowledge that he, as an engineer who would understand it. I mean, you talk about logic. You can't get a better logical person than an engineer in this world. And he has got the Vedas from the textbooks buried somewhere in Bharat and brought it here to the world and you just want to listen to him all. I have had a great honor to meet with him 2-3 weeks back, and I just could soak him up. That's how he is. So it's all yours, sir.
Thank you very much, Shekhar, for that nice introduction. So let me make one or two so gracious introduction. I will make one or two slight corrections. The postdoctoral National Science Foundation, National Research Council fellowship that I got is open for all persons who have taken PhDs in engineering, mechanics, or electrical engineering, electronics, and all that. And they select not one or two, they select about all over the United States, about 30 or 40 or 50 people. I was only one of them. So it was not the two. There were
Okay.
many others also, but even among hundreds of PhDs being produced from Harvard, MIT, Caltech, Stanford, and all that, for someone who grew up in Tripunithura and studied in Madras IIT and come here, I consider as a great blessing of my Vedic chanting. Of course, I was bright in my school. That goes without saying, but there are so many bright people. You don't need to get selected. So to be able to get selected, that is where the additional power of the Vedic chanting that I was able to. Of course, the others may or may not have chanted Veda, but they may have extra qualities. In any case, that is only a minor question. But before I do say anything about that, I want to say
just one suggestion, maybe a good idea for him to keep the video on, and also I will spotlight him. Do we need to have the share screen at this point?
Not immediately. So this is not needed. So these are the two books as they are available in Amazon. If you go and put Amazon and put my name, R.Narayanasami, or Understanding the Vedas for Success, you can get those books. I will explain some of the things what are in the books. I will also give, in 10 minutes, a quick overview of what Vedas are about, which most people may not know. That was the reason for me to do that. So we can remove all these and put my face. And if I need to share my PowerPoint, I will try to do without the PowerPoint. But if I need towards the end, I will share the PowerPoint. I have also already made PowerPoint. But I can answer in simple ways because it is easy to continue from where Shekhar done such a outstanding presentation. Just before saying anything, I want to say about Shekhar because my son's, my daughter-in-law's parents, Narayan and Priya Tanikar, so they just referred me to one of the books, the Power of Gratitude. What is that? Gratitude?
The Gravity of Gratitude.
Gravity of Gratitude. So they suggested that book, and I started reading that. And I was simply amazed at the clarity with which he writes and what is the purpose of how gratitude changes everything. And from there, gradually, I got to know him, and then we got into our association is only a short time. I thank him for the kind words. You can remove this screen, and I will talk a few things in continuation of that. And I attended one lecture. So many lectures are there. I am busy in my own way, so I must first of all apologize for not attending his lectures. I benefited very much by today's lecture also. I will contribute some few sentences to what Shekhar already stated. So with these words, I will say, just to do that, I will start with, I always stand in a Vedic talk with two, one Ganapati Veda mantra and one for Saraswati. So, Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Ganana Tva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavin Kavina Mupamastravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anastranvanyoti Bhisidhasadanam Om Sri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebir Vajinivati Dhinama Vitriyavato Om Sri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Okay, just to say that he, towards the end, put the one Anuvaga of Rudram Chamaga by K. Suresh, and that Rudram Chamagam, Namo Hiranya Bhagave Sena Anye Dishan Chapataye Namo Namo Uchebhyo Harigesebhya Pachunam Pataye Namo Namas Pinjaraya Tushimade Patinam Pataye Namo Namo Bablishaya Vivyadine Nanam Pataye Namo Namo Bhavasya Hetye Jagadam Pataye Namo Namo Rudraya Tatavine Kshetranam Pataye Namo Namo Mantrine Vanijaya Kakshanam Pataye Namo Namo Bhuvantaye Varivaskridaya Ushadinam Pataye Namo Namo Uchair Gosha Yakrandete Patinam Pataye Namo Nama Krishnavi Taya Dabade Satwanam Pataye Namaha. Om Namaste Astu Bhagavan Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Triambagaya Trivirandagaya Trigagnikalaya Kalagnirudraya Nilakandaya Mrityunjayaya Vishweshwaraya Mahadevaya Sriman Mahadevaya Namaha. This is exactly what he showed the from the so first of all, Shekhar explained the power of Om, how the energy contributions and all those things. But in a general sense, and to his question, why the Sanskrit chanting mantra, what is the power? In my book, you see, the reason for me to write the book is from the age of 11, I was chanting these mantras. And for about 10 or 15 years, when I was in the engineering school, I did not chant those mantras. Then after marriage, when I started family, settled on Vanar, I have been continuously chanting the mantras. And then I was asking the same question that Shekhar asked the question, where is the power? Why should we listen to the chanting? Why should we chant mantra? Where is the power? I know I am getting benefit of the Veda mantra, but I was not able to exactly place where is the power of the mantra. Why do I get this benefit wherever I go? So then many people said the Veda is Karmakanda, the knowledge is in the Upanishad. So I learned Upanishad by self-study, and there are 10 Upanishads called the Dashopanishad. They are called the major Upanishads. Major Upanishads means on those 10 Upanishads, Adi Shankara and Deshika Ramanuja of the Vaishnava Sampradaya and Madhvacharya of the Dvaita philosophy, all of them have written bhashyas, commentaries. Without commentaries, so they are called major Upanishads. So I taught this thing, and then I was not able to see where is the wisdom. Where is the wisdom? Because Vedas are supposed to be our with to know, and it is the original book of wisdom known to mankind. So where is the wisdom? Where is the wisdom? And while searching that, Sri Aurobindo, the great yogin, 100 years ago, have found out where is the wisdom. The wisdom was known to the Vedic rishis, but at the end of the rishis, that wisdom got lost. So people started chanting, and that is a benefit. Everybody gets the benefit, but no one knows to explain the benefit. And so-called intellectual who study, unless we explain how we get the benefit, I will not study the Veda. So many people say, no, then everybody goes to Vedanta as knowledge without studying Veda. So I wanted to find it. And in my search, our Vedic rishis have said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. So I had a casual meeting with Professor Kashyap, who passed away last year, who was a Purdue tenured professor, who was introduced to Aurobindo's teachings, and he translated the whole Veda mantras in 26 volumes. And I had a chance meeting with Kashyap in 2012, and for the next 10 years, we were closely discussing in half hour, he explained where is the power. With all my chanting and my inquiry, where is the power, this Aurobindo's explanation and Kashyap's translations immediately. So I understood all Aurobindo's explanation and I started explaining this. So I will just read from my book. The Aurobindo says, first of all, the word mantra comes manana trayate iti mantraha. That means manana, by mind. Trayate means it will protect. So mantra is something that can protect you from the one. It is just like a kavacham, an armor that you wear. So it protects you. So what is, unless it has a power, no, I do not have a video. I have a PowerPoint. So I have a complete presentation and all that, but I will not go into all that thing. I want to read the power of the, so this spiritual and psychological meanings. What are the meanings? I will just try to go to that. So all Veda mantras have three meanings. This is stated by Madhvacharya in the 13th century. Madhvacharya, who is known for the Dvaita philosophy in Udupi Mada, Madhvacharya. All Veda mantras have three meanings. Trayartho Sarva Vedashu. What are the three meanings? Adi Bhautika, the material or external word meaning. Adi Devika, that you can explain with reference to the Deva. And the third is called Adhyatmika, about internally, about self. So you can explain in three ways. However, after the end of the Rishi period, what we had is Jaimini's Dharma Mimamsa Sutras on Sainacharya's direct external meaning. These are the only two meanings we had. And Sri Aurobindo came with the Adhyatmic meanings. And that Adhyatmic meanings, that means there is one spirit. Purusha Sukta, Purusha Evedagam Sarvam, Yad Budam Yacha Bhavyam, meaning Purusha alone is everything here. Whatever occurred in the past, what occurs in the everything, and whatever will occur in the future is this Purusha. That spirit is all pervading. And the first mantra of Mandukya Purusha says, Om Ityeda Aksharam Idagam Sarvam, Tasyobhavaikyanam Bhutam Bhavad Bhavishyat Iti Sarvam Omkareva. Everything is Omkara. Yachanyat Trikaladidam Tatapi Omkara. The letter Om is all this. All that is past, present, and future is Om. Whatever is beyond the three periods is also Om. So notice the close similarity between the second mantra of Purusha Sukta, which is a Rigveda mantra, and this. So the Upanishads really have come from the Veda. That is why it is called Vedanta. But people have no patience to study the Veda. So if you study the Veda, you can also understand the Vedanta much better. Now, Sri Aurobindo talks about the vision, the mantras. Aurobindo says, the mantra is to make us see the world or thought beyond our senses. In other words, if we are only going to see things within our senses, why do we need the mantra? Our senses will show you. So mantra will show you the world, the supra-physical world that is beyond our five senses can tell us. This contact with the supra-physical world endows the person who sees with a certain power. And that power will depend upon how regularly you listen to the mantra, how regularly you can chant the mantra. That is why they say every day after taking bath, whether you have 1 minute, 5 minutes, or 10 minutes, you chant a Gayatri mantra or meditate on Surya. I'll come back later. And Aurobindo also says the mantra can create new subjective states in ourselves, alter our physical being, reveal knowledge and faculties we did not possess before. The intuition that Shekhar was referring in his talk. How we get the intuition? He said by chanting Om you can get intuition. By chanting Purusha Sukta also you can get that intuition. By chanting Rudram Chambakam also you can get that intuition. It can produce all those in listeners as well. If you don't know to chant, you listen to chanting done by the, that is when you call a priest to do yajna in your home. He chants the mantra. If you listen it with attention, that subjective power beyond will be, it can produce vibrations that result in actions and production of material forms in the physical plane. These are all he says. But our purpose is to directly take you to, yes, how do humans achieve realizability? In fact, each of us can lead a life, whatever life we do. You don't have to be a scientist. You don't have to do meditation all the time. You don't have to do yoga all the time. You can do whenever you can. But if you are a housewife, if you are a doctor, if you are an engineer, if you are a lawyer, you say, I have only this much time. You chant mantra or yoga for the first hour. You work 8 or 9 hours. Household, accounting, or any work, house cleaning, it does not matter. You can lead and you can reach. How? By chanting the Veda mantras, by participating in yajna, and all these, you are inviting the devas. And each of these devas have a Agni, the two important deities in Rigveda. Rigveda has 10,552 mantras. All the rishis, about 400 rishis, including 30 lady rishis, have received mantra. One becomes a rishi only if they have received a mantra from revelation. They listen to that. When they are meditating in their superconscious state, they hear their Andasamudra, the internal ocean of water, can connect with the external macrocosmic water, and they can hear everything. The para voice, the 4 levels of walk that Shekhar discussed today. So this lecture today is very appropriate, as Shekhar thought. This will be very appropriate. And that connection, they can see whatever is done. The mantras are there. Even though we got the mantras and the rishis period ended about 3000 BC or earlier, about 100 years ago, there was another incident. A person was meditating like a rishi, and he saw the mantras and he blurted out, and another person translated all that. So you can even today receive these mantras. Mantras are always present in that one. You have to go through the same discipline that our rishis did. Then you can also listen today also our revelation. This revelation is very different from the Semitic religion's revelation. There was a scroll or somebody was put there, something there. That is not the revelation. This is always present in this world. That is why our acharyas will say, Yasya Nishwasidam Vedaha. That supreme person's breathing is the Veda. It is already always present. Anytime you can do if you have to take the exercise. But these Agni Indra, they are all called Upadevas or Devas working with the Supreme Spirit. And each of them has a physical association. Agni is the external fire, but it has a psychological power called divine willpower. And this psychological power, aspiration and willpower, strength, happiness, calmness, audition, vision, Agni. So by chanting Agni mantra, and the very first mantra in the Rig Veda is Agnimi ile purohitam yajnasya deva mritwijam hota aram ratnadatamam. This is the very first mantra for Agni. And in this book, I have quoted the first 9 mantras of Rig Veda, all Agni, the first sukta. Rig Veda is divided into 1028 suktas, and the first sukta is dedicated to Agni, the 9 Agni mantras, and I am encouraging people to chant. Even if you do not know the chanting with the intonation, you just simply Agnimile Purohitam Yajnasya. Agnimile Purohitam, he leads you from the front. Yajnasya Devam, he is the Lord of the Yajna. Yajnasya Devam, Yajnasya Devam Ritwijam, he is a source of truth, and he will transfer that truth to you. Then Agnir Hoda Kavikradu, he is the agent of willpower. So what I was searching, where is the wisdom in the Vedas? by my chanting this, and after my Upanayanam, they also say not only the Sandhyavandanam, there is a Samita Danam. Samit means you take this 9-inch long stick from under the Sashwata tree, Almaram, that you put in the oven, and you have to do the 18 mantras. They have to do Samita Danam, or we have the Aupasanam and all those things. The Agni, why in all the wedding or any yajna, the Agni, because by chanting Agni mantras, that priest said, by we listening, we will get divine willpower, not any willpower, which is my way or the highway. Not is that type of willpower we don't want. We have the divine willpower that can look into the future and tell you, you go this way. That is what it. So I'll say about Indra also. So Indra is not the Indra of the Puranas. Indra gives divine mind. Sun is, then there is a Surya, sun. He's Lord of inner light. That is the power of the Gayatri Mantra. Spiritual consciousness, knowledge and power center, highest light and truth. So by doing the Surya Namaskar and Gayatri Mantra, you become more and more truthful. Your darkness. Rigveda talks about there are only Devas and Dasyus, powers of light. Deva comes Div. Div means to shine. Deva is translated in English as God, then its value is lost. Deva means power of light, and Dasya is power of darkness. So when we say Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, lead me from darkness to light, what that means is we have the darkness. What is that darkness? The Shadrubhus, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. All of us have that. By sitting in a corner and meditating, none of this will go, because they have a Deva of their own.
Early dinner.
Therefore,
Okay.
so I will
Okay.
cut short that.
Thank
The
you.
power is, where you get the mantra is by chanting the mantra, you get these psychological powers, divine willpower, inner light, clarity. And when your darkness goes, in all meditation, it's also the self-realization that say, when the all your darkness that covers the self is gone, then the self reveals itself. So the chanting of the Veda mantras will remove that darkness. By ourselves, we will not be able to remove. How much is anger? Oh, I don't get angry. Talk to your spouse. She will say, oh, when things go his way, he won't get angry. The moment it doesn't go his way, he snaps. So anger will not go by itself. You want anger to go. Anger is, there are powers of darkness. That is why we become angry. So we have to remove that power of darkness only with the power of light. They say, hey, let us have a openness, sunshine, let sunshine come. Let us not do things in close way. It's all colloquial language to say you need to have that. All these things are in our mind internal also. What is the macrocosm, the microcosm? But the microcosm, Lord Surya, is completely covered with our Shadribhus. And the Shadribhus by ourselves will not be able to do. And in the modern psychology says, once psychological power cannot be increased, but our Vedas say your psychological power can be increased. You can get additional psychological power with which you are not born. So if you don't have willpower, without willpower, you cannot succeed in anything. So Agni Mantra is there. And not only that, Agni will see what other Deva has to come to make you successful. So he will invite that Devas. So Agni has that power to invite other Devas also, even if you don't know. Otherwise, you can chant the mantras for all these Devas. Every Deva has these are all rediscovered by Sri Aurobindo 100 years ago and completely translated into this thing by Professor Kashyap from 1999 to 2012. And what a great blessing. Again, because I was chanting these Veda mantras and I was searching and searching, the existence directed me in a chance to have a meeting with Kashyap accidentally. From there, we became, after that business is over, we started talking about Veda. instantly I started in the first meeting and I continued with him. That is what is in this book. So all these things, what he gave a neurological explanation today, how that ringing of the bell does the sonification and then removes everything, and then the chanting of mantra will say. But I am giving another complementary explanation to complement what the neurological explanation that he said is. This is not my explanation. I am only a messenger. This is
I have yet to give the neuroscience one. It's still there are a couple of slides more. That is a real hard data that I'm going to show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in between,
I haven't shown that yet.
Yeah, in between. But anyway, you are saying that zonification itself, you are going to the preliminary step to get into that neurology.
Yes.
What happens in the direction? I am coming from. This is a yogic vision, Sri Aurobindo. I am only a messenger, but I am able to put this together because from the age of 11, for almost 50, 60 years, I am chanting these mantras and searching. Hey, I know this Veda has power, and whatever things seem to be, I am able to be successful and all that. But what exactly is, how did I get to that added thing in addition to what was it? Then I now realize I have a very strong willpower. Where did I get it? I was doing that Samidadhanam and this Agni mantras that I am chanting. Even though you chant Purusha Sukta or Namakam Chamakam, everything has got Agni. Agna Vishnu Sajosha Sema Vardandu Vangira. That is part of the Chamakam. Agna and Vishnu. So Agni and Vishnu. Vishnu is nothing but Indra.
Agni,
Indra is the divine mind. So
yeah.
I think I will conclude here. I just give a brief introduction. Then, of course, there is also our Prithivya Sapta Dhamabhihi. Our thing, there are 7 lokas. In fact, in the pranayama, when you say Om Bhuh, Om Bhuvaha, Ogum Suvaha, Om Mahaha, Om Janaha, Om Tapaha, Ogum Satyam, there are 7. Why 7? Prithivya Sapta Dhamabhihi. Rigvedic justification. We are not simply saying that there are 7. Rigveda says there are Prithivya Saptadhamabhihi. The Prithvi is divided into 7 dhamas. Dhamas are lokas. And these are not loka that you can travel by buying an air ticket or so. No, these are imaginary divisions from here to the Satyaloka, the top world where the mantras, where the spirit, they are all residing. So our goal is to, so without the Dharma, Artha, Kama, Veda does not talk about moksha, even though that is a later addition by this thing, whether that moksha was added by during Shankara's time as a counterweight to nirvana of the Buddhists. That is another discussion, another topic, another day. But Veda does not talk about moksha at all. Veda wants you to invite the devas by chanting Veda mantras. They will plant an emanation of their psychological power, and by continued chanting, that emanation will become a plant and a tree, and you will get the full those powers. When those powers come, all your shadrubhus will go, and then, as the says, the self will reveal itself, and you rise in consciousness levels. You see the task to be done with much more clarity. Veda wants you to enjoy life. Veda wants you to do successful in whatever you do. That is the reason for me to write the first book I wrote, The Understanding the Vedas, where I explain everything. Whereas in the second book, Vedas for Success, specifically bringing the essence and connecting whether the relevance of Veda today, what is creativity, all those things together, that is an easier read. And I want to, any group who want a lecture, I will talk from the base on the second book, that Vedas will give you success. How that success comes, I will explain. How we rise in consciousness, how our shadrubhus will gradually drop out, all by spending 5, 10 minutes or 15 minutes after you're taking bath and doing this one. Now, I want to say one more thing. This whole Veda mantras were preserved by Guru Shishya Parampara of chanting, oral chanting. Nothing was written down. And how did they ensure the Veda mantras did nothing? I chanted the Gananam to Ganavadi. So the first and second word. So Ganana is first word, Twa is second word, Ganapatim is third word. So they decided to do 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 1. So the Ganana Twa Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavin Kavina Mupamastravastamam. That one I'll chant by the Krama form. Ganana Twa Twa Ganapatim Ganapatigam. You need two people. One person will chant the 1 and 2. The other person will chant the 2 and 3. The next person will 3 and 4. And if there is a compound word, then they will split it and say it is a compound word. And so Ganana Twa. Then second person will say Twa Ganapatim Ganapatigam Havamahe Ganapati Miti Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavim Kavinam Kavinam Upamastravastamam Upamastravastamamityupamastavaha Tamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Jeshtarajamidi Jeshta Rajam Brahmanam Brahmanaha Brahmanaspate Pata Anah Nasrunwan Srunwanodibih Udibisida Udibirityudi Bihi Sida Sadanam Sadanamidi Sadanam. This is called the Krama chanting. There are so many, there are 11 different ways that people will be studying so that it is with the, and there is one more, it's called the Ganam, where they take 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, then next time 1, 2, 3. Ganana Twa Twa Ganana Twa Twa Ganapatigam Ganapatigam Havamahe Havamahe Ganana Twa Ganapatim. Then drop the first one, then start the river. Twa Ganapatim Ganapatigam Havamahe Havamahe Ganapatim Ganapatim Twa Twa Ganapatigam Havamahe Havamahe Twa Ganapatigam Havamahe Ganapatigam Havamahe Havamahe Ganapatim Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavin Kavin Ganapatigam Ganapati Miti Ganapatim. This is called the Gana form of chanting. I have explained all that in Appendix 2 in this book. If you want to know how to develop all these things, all these we must try to preserve this and hand over to the next generation. So all people was to listen and invite to the yajna, participate in yajna, chant yajna, and Shekhar is doing a great job of explaining the basis, how these mantras get the power, and other yogins like Aurobindo has also said. With this, I close this discussion.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate. Is it possible for you to stop sharing the screen?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that I can continue with my presentation. There are just few slides left, and I think that will be wonderful. So these are the books that Dr. Narayanasami ji has written. I would strongly recommend both the books to be bought by everybody who wants to do something worthwhile in their lifetime. I mean, I tell you this, to distill these things to get to us is a major fierce grace. Oh, Haituki Krupa. This is what I would say. I'm buying it, man. I am buying it. Okay. Anyway, now let's get to the real deal here. The neuroscience. Most people are interested in it. Let me show what neuroscience they have. Anyway, there is a gentleman called James Hartzell. He is from Italy. And he came to India, Bharat, I would say, Bharat. And he worked in National Brain Research Center in Manesar, which is in Gurgaon, Gurugram area. And he collected the data using the people, Pandits, who are Yajurveda Brahmins, who have memorized Yajurveda from the age of, as Swamiji said, that it is at the age of 5 or 10, they started doing that till the point of like 40-50 years. They have collected the data from these people, from the professionals, and then what they have done is they found that there is a massive gray matter density and the cortical thickness increase in the Pandit's brain in language, memory, and visual systems. Language, memory, and visual systems. There is a huge increase in the gray matter, which means the nuclei, which means there is a lot more multiplication of and newer incorporation of neuroblast making neurons. I repeat again. Gray matter means cell body of a neuron. The white matter is the axon, the one which is long and which connects one neuron to another cell. That is a big axon, right? That is the white matter, which is connected, which is coated with a myelin protein. Okay, so the whitish thing is the protein, the myelin protein. Whereas the cell body, where the nucleus exists, is the gray matter. So that is the gray matter, and then they found that the Pandits who have been chanting Yajurveda from the age of 10 all the way, they have a higher density of cortical thickness. And in which region? In the language region, in the memory region, and in the visual system. Somebody who has had, say for instance, an accident and lost the memory and lost the language skill, this particular Yajurveda chanting will help. This is what I want to tell. And then there is in the bilateral temporal cortex. Bilateral means from left and right. Both temporal cortex is this part, right? So both the cortex have an anterior cingulate cortex also, and the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the region for memory and recall and long-term and the short-term memory, everything. So this particular one, I have yet to see a person who has memorized any shlokas and all that has ever developed Alzheimer's disease or dementia even. Even at the age of 100, their memory is excellent, and they have my mother is one of the examples, I would say. She was constantly doing some chanting all day long. Something or the other was also either Purush Suktam or anything, all kind of thing. And I just imbibed by listening to her. I mean, I didn't spend any energy, but I just kind of memorized it on my own. So anyway, this is the Sanskrit effect has been discussed by this gentleman, the same fellow, and he has named this phenomenon of those Pandits who have been chanting Yajurveda have such a difference in the brain. It is like startling difference. And this paper has been the talk of the town. Almost all the news agencies have covered it throughout the world. I don't think, except Bharat, I think everybody covered it, because Bharat did not like talking about Yajurveda, all the things. Anyway, so this is what the test subjects for the masters of Yajurveda, they conducted this particular thing. The structural analysis of gray matter in different brain regions, and what they found was language, memory, and visual system, bilateral temporal cortices, and anterior cingulate cortex and hippocampus increase in the thickness of all these things. Now the difference in the hippocampal, I will show you some of those things. What is hippocampus? I will show you very shortly. So, but there is the documentation of this. What they did was has this hippocampal thickness or the volume increase in the hippocampus of the Yajurveda people, has that anywhere else discussed? Let's say, for instance, they found out that those people who have a good verbal memory, working memory, and those people who have are those expert at spatial navigation. Spatial navigation, those people have also the same thing. So which means you don't have to go to take a hike with Columbus to do spatial. He probably lacked spatial navigation. He landed up in USA and he wanted to come to India, but anyway. So this is this part of the red part that you are seeing in the video here is the hippocampus. This whole thing is the hippocampus. Okay, and this over here in this right figure, the left the green part is the hippocampus. Okay, Now I'll tell you this whole thing, that this green part covers all the way like this, all the way here, this one. Okay. This is hippocampus. This is the one which is connected to the entire, to the occipital part, this part of the brain, as well as this ventromedial prefrontal cortex over here. So this has a lot of connections all over. And if this part gets like bad for some reason, it affects the entire brain. So in dementia and Alzheimer people, this is the one which is almost lost. So anyway, so the Sanskrit chanting increases the gray matter in this part of this thing. This is anterior cingulate cortex and ventromedial prefrontal cortex. This lighted area that you are seeing, this yellowish orangish color, is the one which we're talking about, having higher thickness of in volume, essential volume, in the number of cells are more there in those people. And this is exactly what Swamiji must be having in his if you scan his brain, I think this is what you will see. This is exactly what you will see. In the cerebellum of the Pandit, this is the cerebellum, this lower portion, okay, this orange. And the one which is what they do is they compare the controls with the age match control with the exact same slide, and then they find the differences in the density. So do you find that in the cerebellum, which is at the back of the head, cerebellum, and it is responsible for balancing. Swamiji was talking about the balancing and the clarity. The clarity is about left and the right brain balancing each other, right? Talking to right brain talking to left brain, that balancing happens because of cerebellum. Remember that. Don't get cerebellum. Cerebellum has been the most less talked about brain part, but I think it has a lot of connections to both the left and the right brain. The right hippocampus, not the left hippocampus. Why right hippocampus? That is where intuition starts. So intuition is at the right hippocampus, not at the left hippocampus. So in the Pandits, this intuition is very, very high, very, very high. And of course, there are differences in the subcortical, which means the limbic region. Now, what happens is amygdala, this limbic region, caudate putamen, and thalamus. These are the regions in the limbic system, inside of the brain. Now, this limbic system is about fear, about fright, about anger, all this and that bad stuff, right? What happens is when you are taking the Shad Ripus, these are the Shad Ripus sitting here. This is animalistic brain, that is the old brain, that is reptilian brain. And you see what is the beauty of this is this whole signal is reduced in this. The light one is the Pandit brain, and the control brain is the dark one. You see, it is constantly decreased. This particular thing increases where you require more creativity, more cognition, metacognition. All these higher functions are increased in the thickness, whereas the thickness of this bad Shat Ripus, which is basically animalistic brain, which we have inherited over the million years as human beings, that is what is causing us not to realize our own true nature. And when you chant these things are going, this is going down. This is my most favorite slide. I was fired up when I saw this slide. Anyway, this is the limbic system I was talking about. So this is what this blue part is. This is the top part is the prefrontal cortex, which we are growing constantly, and this part will be the one which will improve and grow in the coming years. After the artificial intelligence has come into the play, what artificial intelligence will do is free up all this cortex for us to go into higher level of thinking, and let the dumb thinking go to the computers and let them figure it out. And we are interested in higher thinking, and this is for higher thinking we have to have the very higher level of brain power. And this chanting of the Vedic mantra will get you there. Otherwise, it will be still stuck with this limbic system of killing each other and everything. Anyway, so there is another thing which I tried to show you is the bilateral hippocampal formation. That's it. So anyway, this is just to let you know, the right hippocampus only happens to have this increase in the density, whereas in the left hippocampus is very small, very little. But right, you can see how much it's strong. Anyway, another one is here. Now, I would rather, this is the same thing as I have told you, but you have to see this particular part. This is a hippocampus, and this has connection into the prefrontal cortex as well as in the occipital cortex. Occipital is the one which is responsible for vision. Okay, this part is responsible for vision, and this part is responsible for cognition. So this particular fellow connects both the parts. Anyway, this is also the same. The less gyration, just like in the brain there is a hills and valleys and hills and valleys. No? The way it is, brain is wired up like just like a akroat, you know. So that is the thing. But we see that this particular area in some portions is low. There is another paper which this second paper in this business, that these people are from Hong Kong, and they had worked on the Tibetan chanting, the Tibetan, which uses immense amount of intonations, tremendous intonation they use in their chanting. And what they found out that the posterior cingulate cortex is just behind this cortex, right? Shows the largest decrease in the even eigenvector centrality, which is basically, if you do the data analysis, large data analysis, you will find nodes connecting to another nodes. And if the one node is showing lesser value, which means it is connected to other lesser values. So which means to say, what happens is when they do this Vedic, Tibetan chanting, Tibetan intonation type of chanting, what they do is they find something very fundamental, very interesting. So basically, in the deepest meditative states, deep meditative state, there is a delta oscillation, which is suppressed by other noise. So what happens is with this, they say that this posterior cingulate cortex showed the largest decrease, which is how the delta oscillations start to come up. So when Swamiji was talking about the Shat Ripus are destroyed when the darkness is gone, what shows up is light. This is exactly the light. The light is the delta oscillation. Light that you see, light or the self, the Brahman that you see, that you experience, is because of the delta oscillation. So I'll just give another screen where it is. So this is the just example of what the Tibetan overtones and intonations.
Thank you, Shekhar and Swamiji.
I just want to finish it, and that is I'm done almost. Yeah. So this is exactly what you experience after that. So this is what you get, the experience of aha moment, the goosebump all over the body, the compassion, the empathy, the juice, the entire juice. You can call uncontrolled feeling of being loved. That is what happens when you have this this noise got rid of, and the delta waves, delta frequencies starts in your life. So raso vaisa they call it. Then this is exactly what you do. I mean, from Vishnu Maya Jaga, this is the dharma of Vaishnav. Vaishnav means the real self. There is no duality and no delusion, which is considered inauspicious. So, so this is what Sant Tukaram says: Vishnu Maya Jaga, Vishnu Maya Jaga, Vaishnavancha Dharma, Bheda Bheda Brahma, Bheda Bheda Brahma, Amangala, Vishnu Maya Jaga. Now, next in the series will be how to reprogram our brain by using the whole brain activation technique, which will be discussed later on sometime. Thank you so much, everyone. I am so thankful to you for giving us a patient hearing. And so, Swamiji, thank you so much again.
It's getting a little bit late, so if you have any questions, please ask quickly, or otherwise we can use the neuroscience forum for more questions. Okay.
Yes, I think that will be a good idea.
Maybe, Shekhar, if you want to have a QA session, or just have QA within your group, okay, within the neuroscience group.
Whatever, yeah.
All right.
Sure. I think it's already late, but that's fine. We can discuss this thing later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Guruji.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.